Hello everyone. Today we'll be talking about pulse polarography, which is an electroanalytical technique. We have already seen about DC polarography, where we have talked about the dropping mercury electrode, the 3-electrode assembly, and the Ilkovic equation. That where we said that the diffusion current is directly proportional to the concentration of electroactive species. That the ID which is measured is totally dependent upon the concentration of electroactive species there, and we have seen the equation, that is for the Ilkovic equation, ID is equal to 708 n d to the power half m 2 to the power of 2 by 3 and t 1 to the power 1 by 6 kind of thing, right? So where the diffusion current at the end of the drop life is measured, which is the limiting current kind of thing, right? So the DC polarography, we also talked about the E half value, that is half wave potential, that is a potential at which the current is half of its limiting value, and this E half is dependent on is not dependent on the concentration of electroactive species, but it is independent of it, and that is why it is a characteristic of each electroactive species. Every electroactive species will have its specific unique E half values. We have seen the equations that is related to E half value, where E half is equal to E naught plus RT by NF log dr by dO, where dr is diffusion coefficient of the reduced species and dO is the diffusion coefficient of the oxidized species. So these all things we have seen already in the previous video. But this DC polarography, that is direct current polarography, has come limitations, specifically with respect to quantitative measurements kind of thing. The major thing here is the current which is measured. It is measured continuously during the formation of the mercury drop. That is, since the current is measured once the mercury drop starts forming till it drops into the cell. Till that time the current is measured. So there is a substantial measurement of the capacitive current in the system. What is this capacitive current? It is nothing but the current which is generated when the drop is forming, mercury drop is forming, the drop is formed and it is charged. When the potential is it gets charged with a negatively charged. So during that time some current is measured. So that is the capacitive current. It is also called as a condenser current, right? The other current that we are basically interested in is the Faraday current, which is the current which is measured during the redox process, where the electroactive species is undergoing reduction at the electrode surface, and the Faraday current is proportionally larger, and it is majorly measured at the end of the mercury drop's life, right? So the process is slightly complicated, and because the change in potential is continuous process. Throughout the experiment the potential is changed. So if we take the drop time or for a particular mercury drop, it's around 4 seconds to 6 seconds. The average time that is taken 4 seconds, and in that 4 seconds the total potential change that is occurring is around 8 millivolts change of potential is occurring. If we take a scan rate of 2 millivolts per second, potential is changed, then 8 millivolts of total potential is changing in a lifetime of a particular mercury drop. So this creates a lot of noise in the polarigram, means an unwanted capacitive current is also measured. So that gives a noise in the polarographic experiment, and that reduces the sensitivity of the current measurement, and the concentration that is measured is lesser, to a region of only 10 to the power minus 5 molar value only. So so this is the limitation for the direct current polarography kind of thing. So to overcome this, it can be easily overcome by a method called as pulse polarographic method. So in pulse polarography, the polarography, if it is a dropping electrode which is used, then it is called as pulse polarography. Otherwise it is called as pulse voltammetric technique. So a potential pulse is used higher potential value for a particular time, a small potential step for a particular time, like about 50 milliseconds or sometimes near 200 milliseconds of pulse, potential pulse is applied to the working electrode. And this pulse, when it is applied, it is said that the capacitive current, that is the charging current when the mercury drop is forming, is almost negligible or very less, and only the Faraday current, which decays very slowly, that is measured. And the detection limit also, the low detection limit also is achieved, where the sensitivity is also increased around 10 to minus 8 molar concentration solution. That low concentration solutions can also be detected, so that increases its sensitivity to measure low concentration solutions also. So there are different types of pulse polarography that has been applied. So we'll be talking about 4 types of pulse polarographic methods. There is normal pulse polarography, differential pulse polarography, staircase voltammetry, and square wave voltammetry. So in normal pulse polarography, if you see, what is used is a potential pulse applied onto a constant potential. So in case of DC polarography, that is direct current polarography, what you have used is a linear potential ramp, that is potential is increased linearly with time, right? So this is called as a linear potential ramp, and you measure the current at every potential, and you get this kind of polarogram in case of a DC polarography. But in case of normal pulse polarography, what is done is a constant potential is applied every time. That is a constant potential which can be denoted as En. This is applied. So to this constant potential, a small pulse of higher potential is applied for a particular time period, a pulse period of around 50 milliseconds to 100 milliseconds, depending upon the experiment, that is applied. And at this potential, the current is measured. The current is not measured in this initial potential, it is not measured. Current is measured only at this particular pulse, right? So every pulse, when it is applied for a particular time, then the potential is brought back to the initial potential. Then after some time, a second pulse is applied, which is of higher potential pulse than the first potential pulse, and the current is measured for this particular pulse again. So like this it goes on for every pulse, and each pulse is applied for one drop. So every drop is having a different potential pulse applied, and current is measured for each pulse. And you plot a graph of potential, that is applied pulse potential versus the current which is measured, and you get this kind of polarogram in a normal pulse polarographic experiment. So as I said, each drop in that is formed, right? Each drop which is formed, it is applied with a potential, pulse potential, and every drop to drop the potential is increased linearly, and the current is measured at the end of the potential, at the pulse, that is around after 40 milliseconds, the last 10 milliseconds to 17 milliseconds kind of time, the current is measured. So during this time, what is happening is only at the end, when it is measured, only the Faraday current is being measured, which decays very slowly, but the capacitive current, which is decays very fastly, it is almost negligible at the end of the drop time, mercury drops life. So so the capacitive current which is measured is very less in this case. So this is the advantage of the pulse polarography, that is, you are avoiding the capacitive current. So what is done is that the mercury drop, it is synchronized with the pulse kind of thing. So automatically at a particular time, the mercury drop is dislodged from the electrode into the cell, and input signal, that is potential signal, which is applied, is a square potential pulse, which is approximately for about 40 to 100 milliseconds. It is applied onto the drop, mercury drop. The point of measurement of the current, where the current is measured, is at the end of the applied pulse, and where the capacitive current is totally negligible, it is totally fallen off kind of thing. And the pulse amplitude from one drop to another drop, the pulse amplitude is increased eventually till the E half value is reached, and beyond that, and the current is measured at every step. At the end of the pulse, the applied signal returns back, right? So that is, you have a quiet time, then you apply a pulse for around its pulse time there, 50 milliseconds or something like that. Then the potential is brought back to the initial potential. After some time, then again new potential with higher pulse has been applied here. Then the third drop will get more. So like that, every drop new pulse is applied with higher potential, and then it is brought back to the normal potential every time, and the current is measured at the end. You can see the sampling period for the current is at the end, that is after 40 milliseconds of time. So only at this particular point the current is measured. So in normal pulse pulsography, the potential is not altered continuously like a potential ramp, increasing potential ramp, but a square wave potential pulse with increasing height, that is pulse amplitude is every time increased gradually for every drop. So the mercury drop electrode is held for most of duration at constant potential En, and at which no electrochemical reaction is happening. So there is no reaction initially, and there is no redox reaction or occurring in that particular part. And the potential, when it is applied, a pulse potential, that is applied potential is applied there at the last stage of the drop for a particular time Tp, that is a pulse time that is applied for a few milliseconds, and during that time the current is measured kind of thing. So the limiting current in normal pulse polarigraphy is totally controlled by the diffusion of the electroactive species, which diffuses from the bulk of the solution to the electrode surface, where it undergoes reduction and generates the current. So the current is basically the diffusion. Due to diffusion, the current is generated. So that is the diffusion current. So it is diffusion current controlled limiting current kind of thing, right? So these are the other details of this particular polarigraphy. So the major thing is that the capacitive current, that is IC, is practically almost negligible in this particular experiment kind of. So that reduces a noise level kind of thing in the experiment. So this is the polarigram that you obtain for a normal direct current polarigraphy, right? You can see a large oscillation in current curve here. So this is due to the presence of capacitive current in the system, right? But this kind of oscillation is not seen in the normal pulse polarigraphy. You can see a smooth curve here. Only at the E half value, when the current is increasing sharply, you see a step wave kind of thing, right? So this is only in case where there is a when it reaches the E half value, and so there is a reduction of the noise in this, and it increases the sensitivity of this particular experiment kind of thing, right? So what is the difference between the DC polarigraphy and normal pulse polarigraphy? Is the pulse amplitude increases linearly with each drop. The current is measured about after 40 milliseconds, and there is no involvement of charging current, that is the capacitive current is negligible, and the diffusion layer is thinner in pulse polarigraphy than the direct current polarigraphy, and the short pulse duration, right? The Faraday current is high in normal pulse polarigraphy, which is diffusion controlled. Then the diffusion current is given in terms of NFACD half t to the power of half by root of pi Tm, where Tm is the time after application of pulse when the current is measured, right? So this is the relation between the current measured in DC polarigraphy and the pulse polarigraphy. The normal pulse is about 5 to 10 times more sensitive than the DC polarigraphy kind of thing. And the one more advantage of DC polarigraphy is that it can be applied for solid electrodes also.